Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Detective Comics 993. You know, I feel this comic book, when it comes to trade, this whole arc, because this is the finale, I feel this is actually going to be a pretty cool arc. I feel like this would have been better if it were taken time and it were just given the White Knight treatment, or any, like the Kings of Fear treatment, any of those. I feel like I would have liked this comic book a lot better if it wasn't a part of Detective Comics and instead it was just a standalone on its own, because this was so radically different from anything else, and it's just I wasn't a huge fan of the arc, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. There are still some things that I found cool. Let's get into who made this comic book. This is the face-to-face finale. This issue is called A Dead Man. James Robinson is the writer. Carmen Di Giamenico is on art. Ivan Placencia on colors, and Rob Lay on letters. The people who drew the comic book also did the cover. There's a variant cover by Mark Brooks. And, of course, Bill Finger, along with a little bit of Bob Kane, created Batman. So, how do I explain this? What's his face? Two-Face dies in this, but not really. And the comic is trying to build up the love for Harvey Dent, and still giving a little bit like, the world only seemed to know him as, only remembered him as Two-Face, but Harvey Dent was and at least this time he was a hero. But even then, it's like, I for the life of me, I swear I tried so hard to get into it, because Two-Face is a freaking awesome character when he's done right. Him and the Riddler, you do these characters right, holy crap, there's so much potential in them. As much as I like to consider myself as somebody who can write, because I do fan fiction and stuff like that, yeah, I would love to be able to say that I'd be able to pull these characters off. I don't think I could pull these characters off myself. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to blame anybody for not really getting the characters right. And I feel that the way that Two-Face was used in this arc was actually pretty damn good. Again, the trick is it was put as part of an arc as opposed to its own standalone, having nothing to do with anything else. If this were made into an 8-issue series, that's right, longer than it actually was, maybe there would have been more time for it to breathe. Maybe it would have felt better. It would have felt different. It could have even been tied in as a part of modern continuity. Why not? But just make it a separate book as opposed to being a part of Detective Comics, because the characters were just so completely out of whack in this. It just didn't feel right. The whole time it didn't feel right. Anyway, all of that nonsense with trying to get into, Knuckleface, Two-Face being dead. Of course, he's not really going to be dead, but he's not even dead in this issue. It's a farce. It's a lie. And Batman comes along and he's just like, I knew that the Fireflies had something to do with it because you died in a fire explosion. God almighty, really? Really? That's the detective in this Detective Comics? You were so determined to get the Fireflies out and you don't have loyalty to anyone. But you were, so I knew that, and since you died in a fiery blast, I knew that there had to have been something, but none of it's explained. I guess it doesn't have to be, because who the F cares, right? Oh, God, it tried so hard. It really did. But with me, this fell so this was flatline flat, okay? Maybe Two-Face didn't really die in this, but damn it if the story didn't. Everything just fell apart by the idea that he didn't kill Two-Face in this. Dude, I enjoyed freaking Old Lady Harley Part 2, which came out the same week, more than I liked this. And I wasn't a particularly huge fan of that. But oh man, it was better than this, because at least it accomplished what it was set out to accomplish. This, it did nothing. You could clearly, evidently see where this comic book was trying to go, and it failed. Oh man. The thing that killed look, I know I'm coming down hard on the book, and it may seem like I'm coming down hard on the writer. I'm not. Trying to come down hard on the writer. I'm disappointed because there was so much more here. And I feel like a different approach would have worked. You know how sometimes a short story winds up becoming this awesome, really long movie? And you're like, wow, the short story wasn't really as good as this. You know, like the movie was amazing. And the short story was like, wow, thanks for the idea. You know, and there's so many stories like that that are just fully explored as a movie. And this is kind of one of those things where it's like, here's this little short story. I bet you if they made this into a movie, it would be badass. Like this would be superb. This would blow, you know, this would probably be on par with Batman Begins. I know everybody, Dark Knight. Batman Begins was badass. And Dark Knight wouldn't have existed without Batman Begins. Like this had a story. That had great acting. Batman Begins had amazing story with great actors. Put right in there, you know? Plus the origin of the Christian Bale Batman voice. Who are you? Anyway, so, I feel like this is a great story, just not fully realized, and it should have been fleshed out better than that. This could be a movie. There's no doubt in my mind this could be a movie. This could be a great movie. This could be a really great low-budget movie, or at least medium-budget movie. Does Warner Brothers do medium-budget movies? I don't think so. But whatever they're going to do, this could wind up being great. This would work in that dark as hell DC cinematic universe. You know what I'm saying? The DCEU. Man, I also like that Leviathan was pulled into the... Like, that's the thing I think that the only thread that really kept this in continuity, you know, in my opinion, is that they are bringing out here... and in Action Comics, and of course in Silencer, you know, you've got the sense that Leviathan is becoming a much bigger thing. So, especially since Leviathan is run by Talia al Ghul. Silencer issue number 11 came out this week also, along with Action Comics number 1005. So, I have a playlist. All this stuff is in a playlist. All the stuff that came out this week. But man, there was just so much here, and it was awesome. But you didn't even have time to actually mourn Two-Face, because it's just on the next page, like, that looks like Two-Face. What's going on? Ah, damn it. Tried. This could have been so much better if, once again, the same thing that I keep on saying, that a lot of you guys keep on agreeing with, and I'm hoping it's not just like an echo chamber. I don't want it to be like, you know, we like Bill, so we're going to agree with him. No, don't do that. I love the free thinkers. I feel that if this story were 8 issues, 10 issues, dare I say 12 issues, maybe it didn't have to go that far, but what the hell do I know? I just read the comics. You know what I'm saying? I don't make the comic. These are the geniuses that make the comic books, but damn it! If we weren't stuck, somebody just mentioned it recently in the Nick Spencer Amazing Spider-Man comic books. They were saying the same thing that I'm saying also, but I said it very differently. They said it very plainly. Very simply, Nick Spencer's just like, oh, Marvel, you want me to write in 6-issue story arcs so that it'll all fit into a trade? Screw you. I'm going to write what I want to write. How about that? I really do wish that James Robinson would have said screw you to DC also. Does he have the power to say that? Does he have the authority, the wherewithal? Either the cojones or is he prosperous enough? Is he prolific enough that he could, you know, important enough to DC Comics that he could say something like that? I don't know. But it would be great if he could have and just been like, dude, I'm going to write this the way I want to write this. You're not going to force me to only write 6 issues. And I feel like, you know, I know that James Tynion IV is coming up and it's like, oh, you can only make it 6 issues because he's jumping on and he's doing all the... I feel like this would have been much better if it wasn't confined to a lousy 6 issues. That's the main thing that's really bothering me about this. The story couldn't breathe. It couldn't be told. This is not a 6-issue story. Oh yeah, it's in 6 issues, but it's not a 6-issue story. This was at least, bare minimum, an 8, probably a whole lot more. And that's the thing that kills me about this. These are great stories that are being confined and sometimes stretched. You know, in Marvel especially, they seem to be stretched. But in DC, you're just crunching these good stories down for time. I don't want my music tracks crunched. I don't want my sandwiches crunched. I don't want anything. I don't want my comic books crunched, dude. Let the damn stories tell themselves. Stop telling writers how to, you know, how many stories they get. Just, man. Screw your trade paperbacks. Fix your trade paperbacks. How about that? Make thicker ones with different prices instead of cookie cuttering everything. God, you know what? You know something else I hate cookie cutter? Laws. I hate cookie cutter laws. It's one of the reasons why our jails are overpopulated. That's right, getting political. But damn it, dude. Stop making everything cookie cutter. It's called art. And that's not just drawing pretty pictures, it's also writing. Could you imagine if they told Shakespeare, no, I'm not comparing Robinson to Shakespeare. But then again, I already did, didn't I, in previous works. Dude, imagine if King James were like, okay, I want your sonnet to be about 40 pages shorter. Mother what? Mother what? This is why places like Image Comics, Dynamite, and all these other places where they're allowing more free thinking, especially Image, I think. This is why comic book companies like that are just going to keep on, boom, elevating, because that's where some real stories are going to be able to be told. Here, DC, Marvel, putting all these cookie cutter books together, you know, the cookie cutter stories. Dude, I don't even eat cookies. I don't even eat cookies. I don't like cookies on my computer. I don't want the cookie cutters in my comic books. I don't want cookie comics. I'm not interested. Anyway, guys, that's it for my rant. And that was a rant. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.